Hi, I'm Joe. Welcome to my shop. Today, I wanted to share a little bit about my workshop and how with some creativity made it work for most of my woodworking needs. It measures 17 feet long, 10.5 feet wide, and 9 feet tall. Coming in at just 181 square feet, it's what I consider a very small shop. Although it's small, it's not prevented me from building anything, but it does require me to be a bit more creative in planning out the builds. I think there are three keys to any small shop. Mobility. Everything, excluding my primary bench, is mobile, and it can be moved or rearranged when needed. Multifunctionality. Space in a small shop is at a premium. The more you can do with any one item, the greater the value that item provides. And then there's tool positioning. In my case, placement, where I can accomplish a majority of my work without having to move too much, the greater the chance is it will be done with the right tool versus the most convenient tool. Once this was figured out, the rest kind of fell into place. My table saw sits at the center of it all. I have a detachable outfeed table that doubles as a work surface. When installed, it becomes my largest work surface. It's where I do my slab flattening, cabinet builds, and anything that's large. The major drawback of this is when it's in place, the joiner basically becomes unusable. So my workflow needs to be thought out carefully before the build. I'm considering rearranging, but it's currently working, so we'll see. Speaking of the joiner, it has an 8-inch helical head and is 3 horsepower. While it takes up significant real estate, it's one of my biggest time savers. Starting with flat and square material makes the rest of the build go much easier. The Laguna 14BX found its way into my shop about 4 years ago. It's currently mounted with a 3/4 inch Resaw King blade. I am impressed at how well it tackles even the hardest wood without any drift at all. Turning, it's not a part of my general workflow, but there are projects where a lathe is indispensable. And it fits perfectly into this corner. Dust collection for the table saw, joiner, bandsaw, and router table is handled by an old Delta Shopmaster AP400. Although it's been upgraded to a 1 micron canister type filter, it is a future shop upgrade for sure. I've used 3-inch PVC pipe and Rockler's 4-inch tool blast gates. The plastic gates have their drawbacks, but they work for my current setup. To help keep the air clean, I have also incorporated an air filtration unit that can turn the air over 20 times an hour in this small shop. There are 2 shop vacs that are strategically placed, and they provide complete coverage anywhere in the shop. Helping with hose management, I use the Rockler ceiling track. With limited floor space, making use of any overhead solution goes from a nice to have to a need to have. My primary bench is 20 inches deep and 75 inches long, with a solid 2.5-inch maple top. There's a tool storage tray and cabinet below. One wall of the shop is used for lumber storage, and as you can see, they're in desperate need of some organization. My sheet goods are stored in a rack over the garage door, again making use of that ceiling space. Living in Florida, I have to say, my most valuable tool in the shop is probably my mini split. Without it, the heat and humidity would turn this shop, well, into a place my wife parks her car. And who's ever heard of parking a car in a shop? Well, thanks for taking the tour with me. Just a reminder, you don't have to have a big shop or fancy tools to build quality furniture or create unique and amazing items. But if you live in Florida, you do need an air conditioner. Just saying.